From a disturbing viper that hangs down from trees and delivers powerful venom in its bite, to a cobra that sometimes becomes a cannibal, here are 8 of the strangest snakes in the entire world. Number 8. Spiny bush viper. Native to Central Africa, the spiny bush viper is a relatively small venomous snake with spiny scales. Found in semi-arboreal locations, they love climbing trees and hunting for mammals, frogs, lizards and birds. Having what is known as a prehensile tail, they can hang upside down from branches, but be careful when trekking through rainforests, woodlands and swamps where they like to hang out. Their venom has neurotoxins that can cause organ hemorrhaging. Only growing up to 29 inches, the males of the species have a longer, more slender body. The females, who reach only 23 inches, are more stout, but both have triangular heads and green or brownish keeled scales that give them a bristly appearance. Excellent climbers, they can be found at high elevations and frequent Uganda, Tanzania and Kenya. They are a nocturnal species, basking in the sun during the day, but at night they like to ambush their prey by hanging from trees or hiding in an S shape before lunging and striking. An elusive creature, the spiny bush viper keeps to itself, which makes it hard for scientists to determine their lifespan in the wild. Number 7. Rainbow boa. Wondering how the Brazilian rainbow boa got its name? The medium-sized snake native to the Amazon River basin has beautiful iridescent skin that refracts light and creates a rainbow-coloured effect. A brown or reddish snake with black stripes on its head, they also have large spurs on their head. Mostly found in humid woodlands or open savannas, they ambush and constrict their prey, which are usually rodents, birds or lizards. A stunning snake, they usually have either dark spots or striped patterns. This solitary snake prefers to avoid interaction, but when they encounter other snakes, they defend themselves by striking out in anger. But it is their rainbow-coloured hue that garners them the most attention, or rather their ability to glow in rainbow colours in certain lighting situations. But they do not have multicoloured pigments on their body. Instead, they have microscopic ridges on their scales that refract light, giving them their dazzling iridescence. But don't get too smitten. Their ability to see heat, like an infrared camera, means they will see you before you see them. What's the coolest snake you've ever seen? And where was it? Tell me about it in the comments section below. Then, remember to subscribe to Epic Wildlife if you haven't already for more incredible content. Number 6. Paradise flying snake. If you're not a fan of creepy crawlers, then the paradise flying snake might make you extra squeamish. So, would it make you feel better if you knew that this type of snake can't actually fly, but only glides through the air? These snakes use either body contortions or free fall from high places to glide from place to place. To prepare for takeoff, they slither to the end of a branch. Dangling in a J shape, they propel themselves from the branch, forming into an S shape and then flatten their bodies to trap more air. As they undulate back and forth, they can make turns in the air as they glide. But why would a snake need to fly, or at least glide? Scientists think they do this to escape predators, or to move from tree to tree without having to crawl down to the forest floor, though some scientists also believe it is to hunt. With 5 recognised species of flying snakes found from western India to Indonesia, they rarely descend from the canopy. And due to their unique method of travel, they don't really need to. When a group of scientists set out to understand just how the paradise flying snake could glide, they put reflective tape on their bodies, using high-speed cameras to capture their movements. Although they already knew the snakes flattened their bodies to achieve lift, the scientists also discovered the snakes could make complex maneuvers, undulating their bodies from side to side and up and down, as well as moving their tails above and below the levels of their head. It is their ability to wriggle in 3 dimensions that prevents them from spinning from side to side or falling head over tail. Forget snakes on a plane. The paradise flying snake can do well enough on its own thanks to its unique method of travel. Number 5. Spider-tailed horned viper. When a scientist came across a dead snake with what looks like a spider on its body in 1970 at the Field Museum in Chicago, he was puzzled by what turned out to be a bizarre growth on its tail. After closer examination of what he thought was a Persian horned viper, he found that the oval knob-like structure that he couldn't be sure wasn't simply a result of the animal's genes or some sort of cancerous growth. Almost 40 years later, another such dead snake was discovered with the same growth. After more analysis, scientists realized that the growth was an extreme form of animal mimicry where the snake evolved to have this growth resemble the prey of another species. The reason? Many other animals waggle their tails as a decoy trick for predators, but these snakes are equally deceptive. To catch unsuspecting rivals into becoming their meal. When another animal intent on eating the so-called spider moved in for a quick meal, the snake was ready and waiting to pounce. Because both specimens were found dead, researchers needed to find a living spider-tailed snake to study. It took them to the Zagros Mountains in Turkey and Kurdistan to find one, but it wasn't easy. With their rough, corrugated scales that blend into the gypsum and limestone, scientists had their work cut out for them, but they tracked a pair of the vipers in western Iran. They trapped and removed one of the snakes, later releasing it into an enclosure where they could watch. As the snake swooshed its tail along the ground, the spider-like growth skittered along, looking very much like a spider. Several birds were instantly fooled by the snake's movements and became meals for the reptile. Although other species, like the death adder and Saharan sand viper, do have similar traits, the snake-tailed viper is the only one with a strange growth that they use to trick unsuspecting animals. Number 4. Barbados thread snake. From one of the most unique snakes to the smallest, our list of strange snakes runs the gamut. Take the thread snake. Their name might give away the fact that they are not only short and slender, but they are also so small they are sometimes mistaken for earthworms. Also sometimes called worm snakes or slender blind snakes, they are often found on oceanic islands. Scientists believe the Barbados thread snake is near the smallest possible size for any snake. Being any smaller would mean they could not reproduce or forage for the insect prey they need to survive. The species is in fact so small that their mouths can barely open, and even when they do, they can only eat microscopic-sized insects. A burrowing snake, they spend their days squirming in soil, which not only serves as a good place to hide out, but also to stay hydrated. But that doesn't mean survival isn't a challenge for the diminutive snake species. The mother, being so small, can only bear one single egg, which means the survival of the species is precarious at best. Measuring from only 0.08 to 0.5 inches, their eggs are only as big as a grain of rice. A rare snake that has never been studied ecologically, the thread snake remains mysterious, with very few specimens seen or collected for study. Number 3. Blue coral snake. One look at the blue coral snake and it's obvious you've got a unique snake on your hands. But its appearance isn't the only fascinating thing about it. The snake has a unique kind of venom, and with the largest venom glands of any snake, ones that extend more than a quarter of its body length, it's safe to say you might want to steer clear of this vibrantly coloured reptile. Don't be charmed by its eye-catching black and blue hue. They strike quickly, and their venom's toxins affect victims nearly immediately. But how did their venom get to be so deadly? Apparently, they often eat other venomous snakes, so they had to adapt their venom to make it even more fast-acting so they could take down their enemies and avoid getting bitten back. Preying on other venomous snakes is not only their lifestyle habit, but they seem to turn it into something of a game. And the fact that the venom doesn't kill right away, but instead paralyzes their prey so they cannot move, is enough to make one's blood run cold. Even though this helps the blue coral snake to survive in the wild, their toxic venom might actually help humans. Scientists continue to study the venom, and more importantly, how it affects sodium channels in nerves. Those same channels are how humans feel pain, so if researchers can determine how it works, they could possibly find therapeutic uses for it. Still, that doesn't mean you want to go picking up a blue coral snake anytime soon. Leave the research to the professionals and be satisfied with observing this eye-catching snake from afar. Number 2. Red Spitting Cobra. A species of snake native to Africa, the red spitting cobra is another strikingly coloured snake. With a bright salmon colouring that contrasts with its broad black throat band, this snake can reach lengths of up to almost 5 feet. Other specimens, including those found in the southern regions of Kenya, have different colouring ranging from orange, red and blue bands to yellow, pinkish or even steel grey bodies. It's clear to see that there is a wide variety when it comes to colouring in the species. What they do have in common though is that they are mostly found in East Africa and tend to hang out near waterholes above sea level. A fast and alert snake, the adults are nocturnal, while juveniles like to be more active during the day. One macabre fact about this species is that they can sometimes be cannibalistic, which could be why adults and young snakes are seen at different times of the day to avoid becoming a meal for their older counterparts. When they feel threatened, they take on a typical cobra stance by rearing up and displaying their hood. They are also known to hiss and spray venom in the eyes of their intruder, which causes burning pain and blindness in other animals. Luckily, there aren't normally fatalities in humans. Their venom has both neurotoxins and cytotoxins, which can still cause disfigurement in those who have been bitten. Living up to their name, the red spitting cobra squeezes the muscles around its venom gland to force small jets of venom through small holes in their fangs. They are definitely a species you want to avoid. In experiments by scientists, they found that the spitting cobra was able to hit the researchers' goggle-covered eyes 10 out of 10 times. Those are odds you just can't beat. Number 1. California red-sided garter snake. Even if you happen to have a fear of snakes, you can't deny that some of the species are beautiful. Take the California red-sided garter snake. The combination of vibrant red, yellow and black colouring is hard to miss. Luckily, garter snakes are considered harmless. Found in forests, shrublands and wetlands, some species of garter snake are found further north than any other land-dwelling reptile in Canada. As for the California red-sided garter snake, they are usually about 3 feet long and quite skinny. Not only are they striped, but they also have spots or blotches on their backs. Unlike their Canadian counterparts, they are found in marshes or dunes along the coast. When they are approached by predators, they often retreat into the marshes, streams or ponds they like to live near. Considered both a predator and prey, they like to eat meat, insects and eggs. But they need to look out for snapping turtles and bullfrogs, who look at them as a tasty meal. Luckily for the snake's case, they release toxins with every bite, but it doesn't affect humans much. Their unique keeled scales, which have a ridge down the middle, makes them more camouflaged and more likely to survive longer in the wild because of it. Maybe that's a good thing because this California native is quite the looker by snake standards. Which of these 8 snakes did you think was the most interesting or the weirdest? Tell me about it in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.